I did a little bit better on my, yeah, I did a little bit better. But I still have to use tape. But at least I don't have to write over top of stuff this time because that was crazy. Yesterday was a little bit. All right. Put my 2 pieces of tape. I feel like I'm a radio show. I have to describe what I'm doing, just in case you can't see me. We're making this work. All right. Number 7. Number 7 is trying to mess with you. It's trying to, it showed you how to do this. It showed you how to work with these things, but they're messing with you. And that's not okay. That is so not okay. Anytime that one of these stupid math books or stupid tests or stupid schools or stupid teachers leave a blank right there, and it has a number, it has a function, it has a big gigantic blank, one blank, and then it has an equal sign, and then it has some more numbers, what you put in that place is a letter. Since I love D's, I will put a D down. I think D's are beautiful. It's like a, because what happens is that a D, in my mind, makes a beautiful flower. But it's still a D, so just, there you go. I don't know why my mind goes there, it just goes there. 8 times D equals 96. So let's try that again. 8 times D equals 96. There's 2 ways of doing this. Again, we go to our photo math because that's the tools that I want you to use. We go to the calculator function. We go to 8 times the letter D equals 96. The answer is 12. We know this is the answer, but what if you didn't have photo math? Because, like I said, Miss Cheer, she's got the time to explain it. So we know that D equals 12. 12 would have went in that blank right there. If we are working with equations and it has an equal sign with numbers on both sides, we pull out our balance. Once we pull out our balance, we can move things from one side to the other as long as we do it correctly. When you have a times symbol, like a times, you would make it into a divide to get it on the other side. If you have it as a divide, you would do it into a times. If it is a plus sign or a positive, you would make it into a negative. And if it is a negative, you would make it into a positive. It sounds complicated, but once you get it in your head, they kind of like really become common sense wise. So you have this as a times. So what are we going to do? We're going to divide both sides. So we divide. I like that number. I like that symbol because it's always on everything when it comes to calculators. But this also means divide. When you divide something, boom, boom, it goes away. Because if you have 8 of something and you divide that by 8 people, you have 1. And that's what you have right here is 1D. So what you're doing over here is you're saying, if I move this to the side to balance it out, what would happen to that number? Now 96 divided by 8, you guessed it. Can you guess it? You got it. I think you got it. It becomes 12. So let me get rid of that so you don't get confused. Because when that D is by itself, and this number is a single number over here, like it becomes right here, then what happens is that becomes what it's equal to. It's beautiful mathematics. Absolutely stunning. Going down. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo. They're trying to test you. They're trying to test you. Pie, again, one of Miss Cheer's absolute favorite desserts. Pie, which is spelled like this, not like the other one, is 3 point what? What is it? Remember from yesterday? What did Alexa tell us? Alexa, what is pi?
Pi is the mathematical number used to calculate the ratio of a circle's circumference to its diameter. It has an infinite number of digits, but is usually shortened to 3.14159 for the purpose of rough calculations. Pi is represented
Alexa,
in
stop,
formulas
please.
by the
Pi equals 3.14. You just got to memorize it. It doesn't make sense to the rest of us mere mortals. It's just something we got to know. So just memorize it and call it a day. Going down a little bit. Why, people? Why do you do this, math books? Why? We have an unknown. We call it, that blank spot is called unknown. Oh. That unknown, what do we do with it? We put a letter. So let's put our letter down. There we go, my favorite letter. When we look here, we can go ahead and we can do our balance. But let's find out what the answer is first, just for giggles, because we gotta know if we're on the right track. Because math is not, and I should have said this a while ago, if people are watching this that are not part of our program, I don't care if you get the right answer. I really don't. I could care less, because what I care about is that do you understand the mathematics? If you don't understand what's going on up here, we got to do it again, and we got to do it again until you do. You learn absolutely nothing by getting the problem right the first time. You only learn by doing things wrong. So if you struggle, that's great. That means you're learning. If you're watching me right now and you're like, oh my gosh, this woman is insane, I have no idea what she's talking about, good. That means you have a way to go. You have learning to do, and that's awesome. So please stop worrying about getting things right. Sometimes we get beautifully wrong answers. Beautifully wrong. Just like I did in the beginning where photomath went nuts and gave me some weird number. That was a beautifully wrong answer from me. And I'm not feeling bad about it, and neither should you. So let's go again. So I got D divided by 4 equals 6. The answer is 24. We know that the answer is 24 because that actually looks right. Sometimes you can look at something and you're like, yeah, I see how that makes sense. But let's make it right. So our unknown is going to be equal to 24. So let's make it happen for ourselves. So we have D divided by 4 equals 6. We're going to make our balance. Okay. All right. We looked up here. We have a division sign right here. When we divide something, we have to times something, right? We're going to times both sides by what? 4. Because this 6 is already by itself. We got to combine terms to try to isolate that. So when we do this, we got to push it onto this other side of the balance so that we can find out what that unknown is. This is divide. We are going to times 4 times 4. This goes away. Down here, we could drop down the D. Now what is 6 times 4? If you don't know 6 times 4, you don't know your math facts yet, that's cool. Sometimes we just don't know them. So we go into here and we go and make sure 6 times 4 equals 24. Once you know this rules up here, once you know them, you'll be better. So D equals 24. Photomath said 24. We did an amazing job. Last but not least. Ooh, PEMDAS. I think we can do some PEMDAS on here. Can we do PEMDAS? I think we can. Oh, it's going to be amazing. It's going to be epic. It's going to take a little minute, so bear with me. Okay. When we do a problem like this, we can do it on Photomath first. Because why? Because we want to make sure we're on the right track. So we got 5 parentheses n minus 2 close parentheses equals 35. So Photomath has it down as answer is 9. Okay, so they say, Photomath says n equals 9. And this is almost like a game. Can you, like a video game or like a board game, can you make this correct? Can you make it right? So let's see if we can do it. First thing we're going to do is we're going to look at PEMDAS. does. These problems are really not that long across, so we can't do a lot of this, but wait till we get like later in the year, it'll get longer and longer. Okay, the first thing we gotta do is parentheses. Can I do anything in here? Not really. So, boom. Exponents, no exponents, so we're good there. But there is multiplication, because you see this 5? You can distribute this 5 and make it simpler so it can look like something like this. So what we do is we gotta say this 5, when it's outside the parentheses, it says that that 5 is the 5 times n and then 5 times -2. And we can get rid of that. So the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna distribute that. We're gonna go boom and boom. So 5 times n is, this is not rocket science, 5n. Now here's the tough one. 5 times -2. Negative times positive is negative. Just so you understand that. So let's try that one more time. 5 times -2 is negative what? Let's try. 5 times -2 equals -10. I knew that. I just wanted to check. 5 -10 equals 35. Okay, so I'm running out of paper. So let's go over here. Let's put our balance out. I got to give it a little bit more room. So I have 5n minus 10 equals 35. So taking our system, so make sure you take your system. The first thing we got to do is we got to draw our balance. So here's our balance. You know what's on one side and what's on the other side. See? You know. So you got to get that n by itself. So the easiest way to do it first is to get rid of that 10. So if it has a negative sign, it's -10, all you do is put a positive 10 underneath it, based on the system we have. So far, so good? Everybody got it? This goes away. 35 plus 10, so 35, 45. So we drop the 5 here. And 3 plus 1 is 4. So now we're up to 45. Whew. All right, done, right? Done? Is that say 9 yet? No, not 9 yet, because that n is still not by itself. Since the n is not by itself, we have to do something. But it doesn't have a symbol or anything in there, does it? What are we gonna do? What we're gonna do is that when a letter is connected to a number with no symbol, that's automatically times. It's multiplication. So we know that what holding those two things together is multiplication. So I take my times and I make it I divide it. So you're gonna divide one side by 5. You're gonna divide the other side by 5. So now you have n equals what? 45 divided by 5 is, go back to our photo math. Whoops. 45 divided by 5 equals, what do you think? Do you think we did it right? You think we did it right? N equals 9. There you go. Good job. Now, a lot of the times before we did this, before we had to stay home to do our lessons, a lot of times we skipped over a lot of this because we didn't have the time to work on it the way we should have. So maybe this is a blessing in disguise so that we could take the time to see how to do things instead of just relying so much on our tools. Not that you're not supposed to use your tools, so use your tools. So thank you very much. This is Tuesday's lesson. Stay safe, stay healthy. I'll see you tomorrow.